the Honorable Donald John Trump.
Today, we will witness the peaceful transfer of power at the heart of our democracy.
The wind is blowing like crazy, and with the hat that she's wearing, she almost blew away.
I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The golden age of America begins right now.
It was the most inspiring speech she's ever given that I've personally ever heard.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
It was one of the least impressive, least visionary speeches.
There are only two genders, male and female. We will pursue our manifest destiny to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
Changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
He pledged to be a president of peace and to not start any new wars.
China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China.
But did also pledge to forcibly take another country's territory.
We're taking it back. Today, I will sign a series of historic executive orders.
This is what victory feels like.
We will begin the complete restoration of America.
Thank you.
Could you imagine Biden doing this? I don't think so.
He hasn't held back today in words or action.
Trump is announcing pardons for January 6th defendants.
We're huge supporters of Trump.
The next item here is the withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty.
He's done a lot for us.
Protecting women from radical gender ideologies.
Ooh, what is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one. It's all about common sense. Bye-bye. I gave you the A+ treatment. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the project, and ooh, it's a big one. We're live from the lands of the Cooler Nations tonight with Kate Lambrook.
Yeah. Wow.
Who better to be here today?
That was a big one.
It was,
wasn't it? There were so many things to watch, so many fascinating aspects.
Yeah, let's see how many of them we can unpack in the next few minutes, shall we? We're joined right now by journalist and author Nick Bryant, who's been covering Trump from the very start. Nick, big day. You heard it from Kate. Trump's address promised a golden age. What did you make of it?
Well, it wasn't quite as dark and dystopian as American Carnage. I was 50 yards away from Trump when he delivered his first inaugural, but it was pretty gloomy. But what struck me, Waleed, was to see Trump walk into the US Capitol, where on January the 6th, 4 years ago, his supporters ransacked and tried to overturn the election victory of Joe Biden, and to see him applauded by lawmakers who on January the 6th had to run for their lives. Now, Donald Trump could easily have ended up in prison because of his role on January the 6th. Instead, tonight, he is sleeping in the White House. And the other thing that struck me, Waleed, was this is what America voted for. This is what almost 50% of the US electorate, they clicked on the terms and conditions of Trump 2.0.
Crazy democracy, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, I think, Nick, that partly that they voted for Trump because he was awake and Biden had been sleeping inside and outside of the White House. Don't you?
Oh, look, within about 4 minutes of that presidential debate that he had with Donald Trump and Joe Biden, it became very clear that Joe Biden was not going to be able to survive 4 more years in the White House. He looked like he was almost embalmed when he walked on that debate stage, didn't he? So, yeah, no surprise that he had to stand aside.
You know what I found quite surprising, kind of shocking, was that the gathering of the tech titans, they had prime seats. I find that disturbing. What do you think is the significance of that?
Yeah, inaugurations are not just about people watching, they're about power watching. Where do people sit? How close are they to the president? And what was remarkable about that was these tech giants from Silicon Valley, people like Mark Zuckerberg, people like Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder, they were actually sat in the inner sanctum. They were right next to the Trump family. They were actually in front of some of the most senior cabinet members that are coming in to the Trump administration. Now, in his farewell address, Joe Biden actually warned about a tech industrial complex. And he warned about an oligarchy with all this power and influence and wealth. And proof of it was right there at the inauguration. As you saw in that film there, you know, you saw Elon Musk afterwards cavorting around that Trump rally like it was a Silicon Valley tech launch. And then we saw that salute, which to many people looked like a fascist salute. And it's the worrying coming together of Trump's disruptive politics and their disruptive algorithms, especially in the age of artificial intelligence, that for many people is so worrying.
Hey, Nick, Donald Trump signed an unprecedented number of executive orders. What stuck out to you the most?
Well, there's a lot to choose from. Withdrew immediately America from the Paris Climate Change Accord, withdrew from the WHO, the World Health Organization. The one that struck me was the pardons, these 1,600 pardons to what he calls the J6 hostages, these insurrectionists who ransacked the Capitol trying to overturn the result of that election. And he's released from prison one of the leaders of the Proud Boys, one of America's most dangerous militia movements. You know, the Republican Party has always seen itself as a party of law and order. It didn't look like that today when Trump issued those pardons.
Strange then that Dr. Fauci got a preemptive pardon from President Biden. What crime did he commit?
Well, he hasn't committed any crimes, but the idea of a preemptive pardon is to protect him from prosecution if Donald Trump comes after his political enemies, as he warned repeatedly during the campaign that he would do. And he didn't only give a preemptive pardon to Anthony Fauci, who was the health chief during COVID. He did it to Liz Cheney, who was a Republican, who was very critical of Trump for his role on January the 6th, and members of the Biden family as well. I've never seen a move by a president to protect his family from the fear that the next president will actually come after them.
Nick, thank you very much for your time.
Most impressive order of business, though, it's got to be the Diet Coke button.
Of course, you would say
being
this.
put into the Oval Office.
And
so
what is that?
It's literally a button that he presses, which then calls in people to bring him an icy cold
Why can't
DC.
he just have a fridge with DC in it like you have in
There's
your
no
office?
sense of occasion. There's no sense of, I wish I had a button.
If Sarah could write an executive order, that would be the one.
That would be it. Hey, there's a bit to unpack there, but we should probably start out with the salute that's kind of gone right around the world.
Elon Musk was...
Oh, there it is. There.
He was the most excited person in that room.
Did you? He's going, he's cheering.
Yeah, he was so amped.
Yeah.
I thought it was Hunter Biden.
What did you think? I mean, like, it's pretty split, actually. You've got, you know, the Anti-Defamation League in the States, which is basically a watchdog for anti-Semitism, saying, look, this was an awkward gesture. In fact, they say all sides should give one another a bit of grace and take a breath. But what do you make of it? Is it a bit of a Rorschach test here? You see what you want to see?
The problem with it is it comes from Elon Musk, who has been openly celebrating the AfD in Germany, which is a proper far-right party.
But he's also visited Israel and kibbutzes that have been attacked.
Yeah, but if you look at the way far-right politics in in Europe especially works, support for Israel doesn't preclude that, right? Because a lot of the far-right politics has been directed at refugees, particularly from the Middle East, right? So the politics is really weird. I will admit, I went in there looking, because there's so many beat-ups that surround Trump, right?
Yes.
And I went into it thinking, I'm ready for this to be a beat-up, and I watched it, and it braced me. Because I just could not... I think he knew exactly what he was doing, and that doesn't mean he meant it as a fascist salute, but I think he meant for us to see it potentially.
Well, he hasn't commented, but he has shared a post on his platform X saying, the everyone is Hitler attack is so tired. Frankly, they just need better dirty tricks.
It's not worth the risk. Never put your arms above you. You know, it's just not worth it.
You know what everyone needs for the next 4 years? Melania's hat. I see nothing. I see nothing.
Well, now, Trump supporters, including this guy that I've got for you here, who goes by the name Papa, that's where my dad went. Anyway, obviously, he was pretty excited, but I can't imagine an Australian ever getting this pumped up about politics.
There is so much excitement here. It feels like Christmas Day. It feels like I'm 8 years old and Santa Claus just came.
I mean, we can all... I remember being 8 and my parents said, Sam, what do you want for Christmas? I said, you know, John Howard to get elected. We need a GST.
I have to make this easy.
Let's check today's top stories now. And as the Gaza ceasefire continues to hold, Hostages released by Hamas remain in hospitals, surrounded by loved ones. Their families say they're doing well. British Israeli Emily Damari says she feels like she's come back to life.
Emily is in high spirits on the road to recovery. She is an amazingly strong and resilient young woman.
As Palestinian prisoners are welcomed home, the scale of the destruction they face in Gaza is enormous. Survivors are still so desperate for food, they're throwing themselves onto aid trucks crossing the border to grab supplies.
The federal government has unveiled new bus safety regulations in the wake of the 2023 Hunter Valley wedding crash tragedy. New buses will be required to have signs and audio messages reminding passengers to buckle up where seatbelts are fitted. Safety advocates are concerned about loopholes, but John Gaffney, the father of the groom on that fateful day, says you've got to start somewhere.
Making a bus a little bit like an aeroplane in terms of messaging and about buckling up and announcements, I think is a real start.
And who knew they needed a study on this? We all know yawning is contagious, but did you know that peeing is as well? A study from Kyoto University found that chimpanzees are more likely to urinate when they see other chimps doing it. And since chimps are our closest relatives, researchers say in humans, urinating together could be viewed as a social phenomenon.
What? But they're chimp. Like, we can't, just because they do it doesn't mean we're...
See, when you're at the urinal...
Yeah.
Do you like...
What are you asking
I don't
here?
know.
Oh, yeah.
Do you look?
So the way...
Do you look?
No,
Do I look? Oh, I mean, I look, but that's a different conversation.
The way it works, Sarah, is we all gather around the urinal and we wait for the leader to start.
And then let me guess, you throw some poo at each other.
Yeah.
Oh, chimp
That's
style.
what chimps do.
Chimp style.
Yeah.
Is it just the sound? Like, even when I was teaching my...
You always go psh to the children to make them wet.
Yeah, you turn the tap on.
And if you can't reach the tap.
The sound of running water is famously
Oh, and so that sets you off. Yeah. Okay, well, this has been, can I say, a very engaging and enlightening chat for me.
Why so?
Because I just feel like, I don't know, I never think about peeing, so on national TV...
You never do?
I pee too much, I think.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, OK, let's move to another man, Energy Minister Chris Bowen. Yes?
We know about you. If we just let you go, you will always find enough rope to hang yourself. It doesn't matter how it happens, how long it takes.
That's why this show has ad breaks, I believe. Anyway, Chris Bowen, he was in North Sydney today to help, this is exciting, turn on a new community battery, and you're not going to believe it, in a lucky turn of events, my man Sibo also got to meet a local dignitary.
Oh.
All right, guys, we're just holding a press conference, so if we could just keep it to a dull roar for a minute.
I was coming here to join this celebration.
There you go. We're just holding a press conference. Okay, all right. How you going, Camo?
I'm the local crazy man.
Okay, we're just holding a press conference.
Hey, local crazy man, back off. We've already got one of you. His name's Bob Catter, all right? Now, things went from bad to worse for Chris, because they're there with the battery. It's a big deal. Then local MP Kylie Tink hit the mic.
Getting this battery going today, with absolute thanks to the Minister Chris Minns and the incredible work that the federal... Scrap that. Chris Bowen.
Good reminder, kids. Don't lick the battery.
Got to take a break. See you soon.
Welcome back. You've heard of Spotify Wraps, the end-of-year report that's essentially Christmas for music lovers. But today, a different kind of wrap-up is out. The Australian Conservation Foundation's Extinction Wrapped report. It's even more concerning than Kate's music choices.
These adorable Aussie critters could soon be homeless. New analysis revealing the federal government gave the green light to bulldoze almost 26,000 hectares of threatened species habitats last year, the equivalent of 92 Sydney CBDs. 17 critically endangered species and ecosystems are expected to take a hit.
We have a code red at a 10, or if we were thinking about school reports, this would be an F. We have failed the environment.
Those whose habitats are in the firing line include the Pilbara leaf-nosed bat and the vulnerable superb parrot, as well as the ghost bat and the endangered northern quoll. Even our most iconic Aussie animal hasn't been spared. The koala set to lose more than 3,000 hectares of homeland.
We're seeing really big changes in many habitats, not only due to land clearing, but also through things like logging. We not only remove their habitat, we change the fire regime to make fires more severe, and that means that more koalas and lots of other animals get barbecued.
The government's zero extinction target in danger, with 42 more species added to the threatened list, from birds to reptiles, including the insanely adorable pig-nosed turtle.
In 2022, the Australian government made a commitment that really the level of investment needed to prevent that has not occurred. If we can spend $368 billion on submarines, we can spend $1 billion or so on fixing the environment.
So can we save our cute critters before it's too late? Or are we looking at a future stripped of native flora and fauna?
Darcy Carruthers is a nature campaigner from the Australian Conservation Foundation. Darcy, if things continue this way, what's going to happen in the next 10 or 20 years?
Well, Australia is already a world leader in extinction, so if we continue with bulldozing the bush and burning climate-wrecking fuels like we currently are, then we're only going to see that worsen. We already have 2,245 animals, plants and ecosystems that are nationally recognised as being threatened with extinction in this country, and that's only going to get worse. But it won't only impact our amazing and iconic animals and places, it's going to impact our economy as well. We know that roughly half of Australia's GDP has a moderate to high dependency on healthy nature. So industries like fisheries, food, agriculture, tourism, they all need healthy nature to be able to do what they do.
But Darcy, a staggering projection is that we could seriously lose the koala in New South Wales by 2050.
Yeah, that is correct, unfortunately. Last year, the Albanese government approved the destruction of more koala habitat than any other. And that's when this species is already recognised nationally as being endangered. And it's kind of simple with koalas. No trees, no koalas. And we're pushing them down at an alarming rate.
Darcy, well, in TV, often we like to, leave people with some good news, maybe a glimmer of hope. So hit me, fingers crossed. Are there any animals that are absolutely thriving at the moment?
Yes, there are. An example that comes to mind is the beautiful eastern barred bandicoot. So this is a rabbit-sized marsupial that was actually declared extinct on the mainland. That was until around 40 individuals were taken from a tip in Victoria. There was a breeding program for the species, and they're now thriving on places like Phillip Island and French Island in Victoria. And that's thanks to a cat eradication program, habitat restoration, and just working with communities. So it's a good example of what we can achieve when there's ongoing funding for conservation, and it can happen over years. We can bring species back from the brink.
What about the cane toad? That doing all right?
Come on, Waleed.
Cane toad's doing really well.
Yeah.
Not concerned about them.
Good. Just
Yeah,
want to
the
make sure.
foxes are doing quite well too.
Those
And
brumbies,
the deer.
brumbies in the high country also.
Yeah, feral
So
cats,
many good news
foxes, the lot.
stories. So many.
Hey, Darcy, appreciate you ending on that bit of good news.
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting.
Thanks very much.
More project right after this.
Welcome to Project.
Well, from mass pardons to billionaire buds, controversial executive orders to failed presidential kisses. For the second time, Donald Trump has been sworn in as President of the United States, completing an extraordinary political comeback and immediately making some seismic changes.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Donald Trump kept his hand clear of the Bible as he took the oath of office and officially became the 47th President of the United States.
I'm unbelievably happy. That's why I'm here today.
I feel energetic. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for this.
I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success.
His second inaugural speech kicked off an unusual day with misbehaving presidents.
Are you going to behave or not?
Fashion-forward protective headgear.
Can we see another photo? People weren't sure if she was there for the inauguration or to kill Indiana Jones.
And first buddy Elon Musk giving a salute that many did not see coming. A sea of red hats greeted the new prez at the Capital One Arena.
We won, but now the work begins.
But not everyone was captivated by Donald's oration.
Did you know that Biden, while I was making my speech, pardoned his whole family?
It's true. In the final hours of his administration, Donald Trump's seat warmer, Joe Biden, issued a range of preemptive pardons for retired General Mark Milley, former Chief Medical Advisor Anthony Fauci, and members of the January 6 committee, as well as blanket pardons for Biden's family. A statement on the White House website this morning read,
"My family has been subjected to unrelenting attacks and threats, motivated solely by a desire to hurt me. Unfortunately, I have no reason to believe these attacks will end."
Then after Trump took office, the page looked a little different.
404, page not found.
Go home.
I was speaking, I didn't know he did it.
Trump wasted no time on his first day, not even leaving the arena before signing his first executive orders.
Decision of 78 Biden-era executive orders. Freeze on all federal hiring, withdrawing from the Paris Climate Treaty.
After disposing of the pens in a responsible manner, Trump then headed to the White House to take care of the rest.
Did you sign the TikTok order?
Yeah.
Yes, TikTok will be accessible to all Americans, including the January 6 rioters, 1,500 of whom received a mass pardon.
Well, I will say this, they've been in jail for a long time already.
There was also the declaration of a national emergency at the Mexican border, a recommendation drug cartels be labelled terrorist organisations, the end of birthright citizenship, renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Even Trump struggled to keep track of them.
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one.
It certainly was. America and the world now waiting to see just how many other big ones will be coming over the next 4 years.
Strap yourselves in. Adolfo Franco is a spokesperson for the Trump campaign. He joins us now. Huge day for your team. What was the mood like there in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, it's one of great celebration here in Washington, D.C., and frankly throughout the country. It's just been a magnificent day with a very, very high level of energy that I haven't seen in many, many years. Right now, President Trump is enjoying 60% approval rating from the American people. To give context to that, when Ronald Reagan won re-election in 1984, he had a 64% approval rating and carried 49 of our 50 states. So if the election were to be held today, Donald Trump would have won even a larger electoral landslide and, of course, an even more expanded popular vote. So that's an indication of the mood in the country. Very upbeat, very optimistic.
Are you expecting a different President Trump from the 2017 Trump?
I actually am. And this is chapter 2. And the reason I say this, it's still the same Donald Trump, but why I expect it to be different is the following. He has 4 years under his belt. Donald Trump is still an outsider, but now he's an outsider who's had experience in Washington and knows, as he has said himself, where he made mistakes and where he, in 2017, relied on many, many political figures in Washington, D.C., who he really did not know. So he knows the players. Almost all of the nominees that he has now announced for the cabinet positions are people he either knows well, or has gotten to know over the last few years, or have been loyalists from the beginning. So there's going to be a contrast. So I think it will be a different Trump in that regard. We will have a 2.0, as we say in the United States.
Something we did see today were executive orders, lots of them. The range is staggering. There's no way I could rehearse them all, but, you know, America out of the Paris Climate Treaty, America out of the World Health Organization, January 6 rioters pardoned, which is a slightly different thing, but the pardoning as well. Just how different is America about to look in a hurry?
Well, I think it's going to look very different in a hurry for a couple of reasons. First of all, the degree of energy and determination as evidenced by these executive orders. All presidents, by the way, issue executive orders the first day they come into office or they're sworn in. So that's not unusual. But I think the mood, the changes will be very quick, particularly with things that the president can do now that he has, through 2 of the executive orders, declared national emergencies. National emergencies are rarely invoked by a president, and they give him broad and unusual power. One has to do with the border, which of course was a pillar of his campaign. That means President Trump, for the first time, can and will deploy federal troops to the border. We've not done that in the past. Also, he declared a national emergency with respect to energy production. He has said during his speech, even drill, we're going to drill, as he says, drill, baby, drill. Just on those two matters, which were central to his campaign, we're going to see massive change in the country.
Adolfo, President Trump has talked about making Canada and Greenland part of the United States. Now, I need to know, is there a timeline to take Australia as well? Just kind of for planning purposes, I've got a lot coming up this year. Do I need to learn the lyrics to Star Spangled Banner? Tell me now, please.
It's more like YMCA.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
We would love to have Australia join the United States, but it's too far away.
Well, we're not as polite as Canadians, but I tell you what, we've got better beaches than Greenland.
Oh, yeah.
Adolfo, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
We're safe. That's a scoop, actually. That's a scoop. Now, guys, if you are wondering what this new normal is going to look like in the world, I've got it for you. Here's a glimpse. This is it. Now, he's got a sword.
Oh, my goodness. That
Look
moment.
at him go.
Oh, he's holding the by the blade now.
Unbelievable.
But also the way he was brandishing the sword, which we know is a metaphor.
Like, as a comedian, are you just loving this right now?
Well, I think it's you can't be funnier than he is. That's crazy. Like, if you had told me today that I was going to see a man dancing to the YMCA with a sword,
I
would say, am I on the Frankston line? Like, what's going on? No, that's the president of the United States.
While he was also flirting with his wife.
It's nuts.
You think that's the newsworthy thing?
Well, I just found that whole...
Yeah, that's...
Well, you know, he was brandishing his sword and she seemed to be quite on board with it.
It was a big sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We've been told to go to a break.
Yeah.
We'll see you very soon.
Let's get some more news now. Our National Cabinet has agreed to set up a new database to track anti-Semitic crimes after meeting to discuss the ongoing attacks in Melbourne and Sydney. The latest saw a childcare centre in the Sydney suburb of Maroubra firebombed and vandalised with offensive graffiti overnight. Cabinet was briefed by Federal Police. The AFP Commissioner will meet tomorrow with his state counterparts to discuss further tactics.
It is completely disgusting, and these bastards will be rounded up by New South Wales Police.
Adelaide Zoo has debuted its new pandas today, officially welcoming Xing Chu and Elan. The panda duo will take the place of the much-loved Wong Wong and Fu Ni, who famously, after 15 years in Australia, well, they failed to breed, didn't they? Described as handsome, though, 4-year-old Xing Chu has a lively personality. Elan is also a playful 3-year-old. There's hope. So Chad Criddle joins us now. He has the tough job of looking after Xing Chu and Elan, and one day we'll have a hand in their hopeful copulation. Chad, sorry, that's just what it is. Chad, let's cut to the chase. How long until we get these pandas to work? And by work, I mean business.
I mean, my hand in that job, I don't remember reading that in the job description, however. Look, we're excited to get them used to life here in Australia and then hopefully look at introducing them for her first successful cycle in approximately 2 years, we think.
Are you sure these pandas actually do work, though? I mean, the one behind you looks a bit stiff. Not in a good way.
That would be a really horrible error if we just realised that we imported some statues. No, they definitely work. Pandas have got a few jobs in life, eating lots of bamboo, about 30 kilos a day, and that turns into a lot of poo as well, and he's doing up to 23 kilos of poo a day, and they do that bit very well. So I'm hopeful that the rest of it comes naturally too.
Oh, all right. Well, is it true that Xing Chu is considered hot stuff by panda standards?
Oh, he is a very, very handsome panda. Xing Chu is definitely... Like, if you were going to pick an attractive male panda, he is it. And it's because of his beautiful round head. It's quite auspicious to have a round head if you're a panda. and so he's rocking a very nice round head.
Okay. Sorry, who's deciding these beauty standards? Is it the Chinese or is it the pandas?
I think it's the panda fans. The panda fans are a very avid bunch of people, and they decide who's an attractive panda.
Wait, humans are pandas?
Human panda fans.
And they decide what's hot or not?
What if they're wrong?
We need to put them on a government list, if you ask me.
Now, Chad, you just opened up the panda pen to the public. What did the pandas make of the Aussie crowds?
Look, they've been amazing today, and we've had huge amounts of visitors coming through to see them, and both Shinchul and Elan have done what I expected them to do, which was just keep eating and relaxing, and they've done a spectacular job.
Chad, look, sorry to come back to this, but if someone named Wang Wang didn't breed, what makes you think these two will, honestly?
Look, you know, it's a tough gig being a panda. You've got 36 hours a year to get things right. And all it takes is one of the two parties involved to be slightly out of sync. It is a very tough gig. But certainly what we learnt from Wong Wong and Fooney, that's it. 36 hours a year, and then we get another year to try again after that. So
I think that's how my husband feels, Chad.
Hang on, do they get a bit of privacy or do they just have to do it there?
No, we tend to close the forest during the breeding season to let them focus on each other, so that they can focus on what's at hand.
36 hours shut down.
Focus on what's at hand.
Well, Chad, thanks for your time.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me.
Eye-opening stuff.
Chad was a good sport.
We love Chad. Now, let's stay on animals, guys, because this is huge news. It's Estrella the tortoise's birthday. I hope you guys all remembered. So Sunrise checked in with her zookeeper this morning, and let me tell you, the combination of kind of mating talk, tender stroking, and hand gestures, look, it made for some pretty racy TV.
Hugo next door, he'll get a bit of that cake as well, but he's still a little bit too big to actually let in with her. She's still got a little bit of growing to do. She's only 24. He's like in his mid-70s. She's like 66 kilo. He's 175 kilos. So she's got a bit of catching up to do before we can pair up.
I tell you what, I don't know what he's on about, but get that bloke to the panda enclosure is all I'm saying. Maybe Wang Wang would still be in the country.
Wow. American pop star Phineas has made a shock confession. Brisbane was not his favourite Aussie city.
Boo.
During his tour down under. He was pretty confused as to why the crowd at his Brisbane shows booed when he mentioned his visit to South Bank.
People in Brisbane hate the city of Brisbane, and I don't understand what the fuss is all about. We went to this place in Brisbane called South Bank, which has this like big public pool, and I told the guys in the band, I was like, I'm gonna bring it up at the show tomorrow and they're gonna boo. And they did. It's so silly to boo something awesome about your own city.
We've actually got a couple of Queensland gals in the audience tonight, and I feel your rage, can I just say? Because just because you don't like South Bank doesn't mean you hate your city.
I also find it strange to not like South Bank, but because the beach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, the whole precinct
But
is
it's
lovely.
because
I like it.
Yeah, but it's because of the. Who started the rumour that it's full of urine?
Everyone wheezes at South Bank.
Yeah, but
I weed at South Bank.
It's a massive body of water.
Yeah.
Well, it's like saying, people wee in the ocean. Oh,
no, but you've got the tides and the currents clearing it out.
Can we just go back?
Bank.
Weed in the pool at South Bank?
Yeah.
This is huge
A long
news.
time ago.
Do you know what? I think we're understanding why Phineas liked it so much.
I don't like the idea. It's kind of like when someone criticises your family. It's like, you don't get to criticise my family, only I can.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
But that's like Sydney people dissing Bondi Beach. They were like, if you're not from Sydney, you go, Bondi Beach is an amazing beach.
Yeah. Do you see other ones? Anyway.
What?
In breaking news, Sarah P's in the pool. Let's move on.
Everyone, do it.
It's time to because it seems like Aussie libraries are getting a funky rebrand, with attendances across Australia doubling since 2022. Local libraries are shifting their focus to include more fun events and activities like fitness classes.
And here with her thoughts and someone who's definitely peed at South Bank is bookworm, librarian, whisperer and oracle of everything. It's Mel Burrows! Libraries, they're doing more events. Mel, are you going to go?
Well, it's true. Events are becoming a focus for libraries. I struggle to believe that. So we're meant to think those grumpy women who used to shush me and roll their eyes when I borrowed 15 Saddle Club books have somehow developed people skills, have they? No, that sounds like fiction to me. Bang, she's off. Okay. To be honest, I haven't set foot in a library since 1998. I'm afraid they'll hit me with a huge bill because I haven't returned my copy of Looking for Ali Brandy for over 25 years. And I can't afford the fine. I don't have $4 rolling around, not in this economy.
Because he lives, absolutely. So based on your history then, Mel, so you don't go to your local library at all?
Well, look, at my local library, I like it. It's a nice place. There's meeting rooms. They're available 24 hours a day. They offer chairs, tables, free Wi-Fi, kitchen facilities. And that's actually better than some hotels that I stay in. But libraries have changed. They've got a modern feel now. There's orange arms chairs, there's bean bags, and no one tells you to be quiet. And frankly, I find that quite unnerving. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if someone with coffee breath and a Miller's blouse had told me that there's plenty of space for talkers in her office.
Well, it sounds like your disdain for the library started very young, Mel.
Oh, Kate, no. I was actually a library monitor in primary school.
Really?
So, Yes, I'd man the chute and I still do. I loan out books and I'd imagine... Sorry, you want to talk about shoots, Kate?
I thought you're more likely to shoot the man, but I'm happy to hear that you man the shoot.
Thank you, yeah. I don't know what more I can legally say in this time slot, but thank you for the question, Madam Langbrook. But when I was a library monitor, you may have heard that this is probably a job for nerds. And that is a lie, because I actually had heaps of friends. There was Mrs. Calvert, there was Mrs. Porter, there was Mr. Watson, and they were just menopausal ladies who felt sorry for me.
So you're not buying into the whole rebrand then?
Well, libraries are in an identity tug-of-war over who owns the space. Is it toddlers and their nursery rhymes? Is it chatty teens? Or the original clientele of retired boomers who like to read the paper in silence? So these library users, they don't like chatting and the toddler songs and the origami classes. They like the absolute silence. Well, until they decide it's time to chat to you about the weather, their investment properties or their pending colonoscopy. Fingers crossed we're all clear, Graham.
OK, Mel, very quickly, any final advice for these libraries that are rebranding?
Well, just be yourself. You can't please everyone all the time. Just be true to you. And if you're not, you will burn out, you'll put on weight and your rash will come back. That's not my words. That's what my therapist said.
We love you, Mel.
Thank you, Sarah Harris.
See you soon. Let's guess the definition of punk rock.
Amyl and the Sniffers are unapologetic punk heroes.
When you get down, you're a lit one. Always been a big star, never been a dull one.
Once Melbourne housemates, the Rockers are now 3-time ARIA winners, performing sold-out world tours and having some familiar fans.
Amy, are you hungry?
Rue, I'm starving, and I'll eat anything cooked in your loving oven.
Now they're back playing on Aussie soil with a single so explicit we can only show you the first part.
Sorry. Please welcome Amy and Declan from Amyl and the Sniffers.
That is quite an incredible reaction, and it reminds me of the first time that I saw you, which is at Meredith Music Festival. I can't remember, 2019, 20...
Yeah, that sounds right.
And it was insane. And watching you guys was insane, and you in the crowd and crowd surfing and just taking all the energy, and it was proper like punk, and it was like someone touched you on the forehead, like Chrissy Amphlett's finger, and went, you. Yeah. Did you feel that? And you still must?
I can't remember that one.
But when people say that you are the love child of Bon Scott and Chrissy Amphlett, I mean, how do you react to that?
Well, I don't know, but we went and saw Bon Scott's grave in Perth on the weekend, so I mean, he's awesome, obviously. So is Chrissy. So yeah.
Oh wow! Playing for back home in front of Australian audiences after doing Coachella, Glastonbury, how's that? How do we rock out?
Yeah, that's super rowdy, eh? Like, I mean, you want to talk a little?
Yeah, Aussie crowds smile a lot at us, which is nice. I've noticed.
Oh,
yeah.
the smile.
Yeah, big smile.
Yeah, right.
And they love the swear words the most, like, because we've got a bunch of songs with swear words, so they really like those ones.
We know. It was very hard to play that little bit on the telly.
Do you guys think maybe you could crowd surf for us here tonight with our crowd? What do you guys reckon? Okay.
I reckon they can do it,
Now, you guys, some of our viewers might not know, but you guys were housemates. That's how the band... Like, I've lived in so many share houses. At no point have I ever thought I'm going to start a band. How did that happen?
Well, actually, like, Declan was working at Big W just across the road from here. And so we lived on Chapel Street just down the road from here as well. And, we all got home together and we all love music. Like, I was going to see live bands like 5 nights a week and so was everybody else. So we thought, we'll start a band. So we just did it real quick. And then, we just got better and better. But everyone thinks that's crazy. But if you listen to those first 4 songs, they're pretty rough. So.
You know, because you've got this, like, proper wild energy and you just bring it all to the crowds when you're playing, people have come for you now because they're very attracted to it, but it's, like, very retail and it's very corporate, the interest in you. So, like, you've done the Gucci campaign, which was just beautiful, but also extraordinary. How do you keep your sense of yourself? Yeah, how do you keep that?
Well, I think so much of it is integrity and spirit. Like, I feel like a lot of the way that I feel just, like, about society and day-to-day life, which is, like, it's, like, day-to-day life and, like, individuals are so beautiful, but, like, society and, like, structures and a whole are a scam. And there's so much that really just, like, holds you back, and it's so fun to just let it rip real crazy. And then, obviously, like, Gucci, you know, it's good to get paid, so.
And also, when I think punk, I think the project as well. So we're doing it.
You're right. Declan, do you want to talk, or you?
No, Amy summed it up perfectly.
Yeah. Hey, we had Boy George on this show about a year and a half ago, something like that, and he was saying he would love to do a collaboration with you, doing a punk version of Karma Chameleon. I mean, I don't know how that would sound, but are you interested?
We should say karma, 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 swear word a million.
Yeah. That's how it would go.
Wow, that's a great insight to the writing process.
Yeah, you can take that if you like. So.
Can we arrange it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Now, very quickly, before we go, it's very nice. I've never met you guys before. It's very nice. Every time we have musical acts on, I try to, like, get some fashion tips or how I can rebrand. We had Leon Bridges the other day. I went, like, cowboy hat and glasses.
Yeah.
I don't know if we... Anyway, how do I become more punk rock?
That's funny, because we were just watching you on the TV in the green room and we said we liked your shirt. So there you go.
That is not what I expected. Well, the album is called Cartoon Darkness. It is out now. Ticket details to the shows are available on our website. Would you please thank Amyl and Sniffers?